All right, well, I got this 81 Coupe. I was, a little backstory, I guess. I was looking for a T-top roof from any T-top Mustang, from, obviously 79 to 86 or so, that I could use the roof off of to do a conversion on a Coupe. And I was talking to my buddy Tom Clark about that, and he told me that he knew where one was at. So I was like, oh, cool, hey, that's awesome. And I asked him how much and stuff, and he told me how much he thought it would be and whatnot. And then I was like, oh, cool, that's great. Yeah, tell him I'll take it. You just got any pictures? And he sends me a picture, and it's the car behind me, and it's an actual real 81 T-top Coupe. So immediately I just said, well, how much is the whole car? I want the whole car. And it's a pretty bad shape. The car was pretty rotted out, and the previous owner, he drilled out all the floors in the car and took out all the floors. I would say 99% of them at least. A little bit of the trans tunnels left. I'll show you here in a minute. But I did acquire the car. I really didn't know I was going to get the car. I told Tom that I'd be willing to buy the whole car, and he just said he would see what he could do. And he told me that he was bringing me my roof. And he says he's bringing me the roof to the car because he has to meet somebody from Michigan anyways. It was kind of on his way, and he was like, hey, I'll bring it with me when I come through that way. I was like, oh, okay, cool. So he come for the weekend, and he shows up, and excuse me, he shows up and he's got the car in a trailer. So it was a big surprise. I thought I was just buying the roof, and I ended up with the whole car. In here, Tom Clark, most people know him as Sinus Built. He's got a 79 pace car Cobra, with a 4-valve and a blower, and he's got the white coupe with that amazing interior and the beautiful paint job on it. And obviously, all of his cars, they have custom wheels on them and all kinds of custom touches that make the cars really just one of a kind. And Tom really did me a solid here getting me this car. I've been looking for a T-top coupe for a long time. I've only seen 2 in person, seen a bunch in magazines and stuff like that. I've seen them on the internet, and there's a couple Facebook groups that I'm in that I've seen some, and they've always kind of been out of my price range to buy one. And when I thought I was just gonna get the roof and he shows up with the car, it was a really big surprise. He really helped me out with this situation and got me this car, and I'm really happy about that. And thank you very much. I really appreciate that. It was like the coolest thing ever, man. I really appreciate it. But to the car, I'll show you kind of what's going on with the car, and you kind of give a little walkthrough of explanation of what I think I'm going to do with the car. I kind of have a plan set out. I'm going to get some renderings done, a few different colors, a few different things. And maybe give me some ideas on how I want to go about doing this. And let's get to it. I'll show you the car and we'll check it out. So this is the car, as you can see, it is pretty rusty. The whole car was like this from what I understand underneath. The whole floor of the car was rotted out. Obviously this has some major strut tower issues and frame issues up here. They've already welded this in and boogered it all up just to try to patch it in to make it work, make it okay. This side hasn't been done, but I'm actually gonna call this out. I'm gonna just cut the car off from the cowl panel forward, just cut the whole thing off. A little wide view of the car here. But yeah, it's a real 81, T-top coupe. My plan is to save the car. I want to save the car. I want to make the car right again, and to do that, I'm going to do some pretty wild stuff. I'm not going to put a floor back in it, not a factory floor, that is. You can see, the gentleman, he cut it all out, and you can see, in the rails here, how rusty everything is. That's the whole torque box area. You can see it's just rotted and gone. I don't know if you can see that really good, but you can see it is just cottage cheese. It is just rotted out. All the frame rails, all the floors were rotted out. Everything was rotted out in the car. Now, surprisingly, the roof is not rusty. The quarter panels have very minor rust. There's not a lot of rust going on in there. But you can see here, you know, the previous guy was taking it all, cutting it all apart. He was gonna replace all of this stuff with new rails from another car. I guess from what Tom said, he actually had all the pieces from another car already cut and ready to be put in this car. But, you know, I don't know the situation or the scenario, but, you know, I do know that you know, he decided not to go through with the whole project. Crazy. But yeah, this is the 81 T-top coupe. It is an absolute basket case. I am not in any way whatsoever going to deny that. It is rusty everywhere. I am going to, at this point, I'm going to chop off the entire front frame rail sections and clip. But for right now, I am going to go ahead and get the front clip of this car cut off. Man, is that rusty? Woo! Yeah, put it in the car. Yeah, bear with me here in my garage. It is a disaster, I know. Everybody's probably talking smack right now, saying I'm ruining the car and how can I do this to it and everything else. In reality, this car is so rusty, it doesn't matter that I'm cutting this off. It would have to be replaced no matter what. There's no just patching this up. Chopping it off like that. You know, I just need to get access to all the welds that I can drill out to separate the panels from the panels that I'm gonna save. Is I'm gonna get the wiper cowl drilled out, pulled off the car, and I'm gonna go ahead and get the new wiper cowl put on, make sure the window is gonna fit right, be right. There's not gonna be any rust issues around the window or anything, because that's, you know, a major issue. So once I get the cowl panel in the car and it's welded into the upper rail here that I am gonna leave in the car, I'm gonna leave a section of that upper rail in, probably only about 3 inches of it past that, where the back fender mount bolts on at. Everything else from there forward is gonna be gone. So from here forward, you know, I'm just gonna box this in here, and then all of this is gonna be gone. All of the frame rail down here, all of this is gonna be gone. The entire firewall, all the way to the pinch weld at the bottom of the wiper cowl there, is gonna be gone. So, you know, I gotta get the new wiper cowl in. Once I get the new wiper cowl in, then I'll be able to trim up the rest of this stuff. I'm gonna leave it the way it is kind of for now, so that way I have some support and structure there. So when I put the wiper cowl in, I know it's exactly where it's supposed to go. And then I'll go ahead and cut the firewall out of it. I'll box in the front of the frame rail. I'll cut the rest of the aprons here out. The rest of the lower is out. I'm going to take out the rest of the trans tunnel. And then I'm going to have to put some support braces in the car, which I'm going to take care of that. You know, I'm going to add some more. The ones that are in there, you know, they're kind of home built. They're a bolt in. They're not really welded to the car. They're okay for what the guy was doing, but for what I'm doing, I'm gonna TIG in some bars in here and really shore up the gapping on this car. Make sure that way if I go any further with cutting it up, it's not going to destroy the car for real. So, but like I said, the car was in such bad shape, I don't think I know anybody that would have saved it. Every single person I know would have said, man, the roof is solid. Just chop the roof off and put it on another car. It ain't worth saving. But it's a real 81 T-top coupe. I'd like to save the car. I'd like to just make the car something that no one else would have. This car would have had the roof cut off of it, and it would have been cut up in pieces and sent to a scrapper somewhere, and they would have melted this thing down, and it would have been, you know, some sort of can or something, an oil can, or, you know, who knows what. It could have got remade into another car part or something. I don't really know. But I don't really think there's really much of anybody that would have saved the car. I don't know too many people that have the ability or the skills to save a car like this. I take that back. I probably do know quite a few people that have the skills, but they would look at it and say, dude, you're out of your mind. Just get another car and buy another car and just cut the roof off this one and just put a roof on it, or take all the T-top parts off this one and just cut the roof off on another one and just, you know, retrofit it like they did back then. Well, that's great, you know, but I really wanted to do a Roadster shop chassis. I really wanted to do a custom chassis. I want to do all kinds of stuff, and I don't want to get a nice car and cut up a nice car. Whereas this one's already half cut up, all the pieces are already missing, half the car's gone. I don't have any of the windows. I have one back window, the rear window I have, but I have nothing else. The doors I have are completely rotted out and junked. There's no windows in them, there's no door handles on them, there's nothing. The front fenders are not even worth looking at. I'm probably gonna give them away to somebody that might need them worse than I do, and they're willing to fix them up and whatnot. But, you know, they're in really bad shape. The one really nice thing on the car is it's got an aftermarket deck lid on it, so that's nice. So after building my Cobra, I realized that I made a huge mistake not documenting that build. So I'm gonna do that with this one, and I'm gonna be pretty thorough with it. I wanna try and show everything I'm doing with the car. I'm gonna get much better at recording what I'm doing. I'm gonna get closer images, closer videos. You guys are gonna be able to see what's going on. But I hope to see everybody around at the shows this year, and I hope that you guys enjoy some of the videos that I start making on the build of this 81 T-top coupe. I have not named the build yet. I know a lot of people do that, but I have a hard time naming dogs, let alone cars. And I'm basically going pro touring. I'm going coyote, roots blower, 6-speed. Bear with me, stick with me, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video for what it is, my very first video.